This was just a boring lawn. We created an edible garden and food forest that will give us more food with every passing year, and the best thing is, their makeover was dirt cheap. We have a tiny garden, but we even sell our plants for our food forest plants nursery here. Instead of a shade cloth, we use a grapevine which loses its leaves in winter, which is just what we need. I hope the birds don't get into it. We started this garden about 2 years ago, and since then it's gone through a lot of changes and upgrades. This is the overview of the front yard. Most trees are still small, but bananas grow big in only a couple of months and fruit in their second year. The seedling papayas are already fruiting. There is new garden edging, and we will use road beige for the path around the house. And here's an overview of the back. For the annual veggie beds we chose neat rectangles. They are much easier to work with, but for the food forest we prefer to have a more natural fields with curving shapes. Some beds have edges, some don't. We've added edible plants in every available space, even around the clothesline and the water tanks. The idea is to turn the entire garden into a food-producing landscape and really maximizing that space. Let's go downstairs and into the garden. The road base in the nursery area is nice and heavy, and we can use a leaf blower to keep the surface looking tidy. But also it's made from basalt, which has paramagnetic properties. I will talk about paramagnetism and what it does to plants in another video. Behind that dwarf mulberry there is a very fast growing cranberry hibiscus with edible leaves. The next bed has Brazil spinach, taro and some more sweet potatoes as ground cover. On the left there is an acacia I planted as a supportive species to provide protection and mulch. And very close to that acacia is a Japanese raisin tree and a native bush tomato and bush lemon. The lychee grows very slow, and the black pearl chili in the foreground is nearly the same size. And there is longevity spinach, which I cut back very severely. This bed has turmeric, pepper sarmentosum, and a very special ginger which is called insulin herb, and a quaimuk seedling. At the fence there's moringa, grumichama, and the space on the sewer lid is used by a big pot with finger lime. There's vegetable fern, patchouli, and another quaimuk. This one is a grafted one. I planted the sugar banana a year ago and will soon harvest the fruit. I like using sweet potatoes as ground cover. There's also Chinese keys and mint. We planted a lot of fruit trees we've never tasted in our lives, like this Nanga pire, another Eugenia species, surrounded by beautiful peacock ginger. The passion fruit is meant to cover the rubbish bins, but it doesn't work out that way. Here he laid some homemade stepping stones and made this garden edging, and hooray, I gained some space for more plants. Rami, a fiber and spinach plant, patchouli. And let's go to the back. See, the trellis is covered with another passion fruit. This bare looking bed was finished last week, and I planted some herbs and a dwarf olive and another olive in that round bottomless metal structure that we found at the tip. With the endless rain, the bitter melons aren't performing very well. The bees can't fly. Last year we were drowning in bitter melons. That small bed has a finger lime, Tahitian spinach, and I fill the gaps with daikons or turnips. Also there's Mizuna, and it has very decorative leaves and it loves shade. I have 2 new sweet potato varieties. The heart-shaped leaf is Treasure Island Kaukura and the lobed leaf is Treasure Island Mani He. I will use both varieties in the front yard as decorative ground cover. In the bed on the left I grow mauca, a root vegetable from the Andes. It's knobbly, but it's nice. Super starchy, very filling and very easy to grow. Here you see cassava or yucca, and the leaves are starting to yellow, and once the rain stops I will harvest. The other vegetable beds unfortunately don't perform very well at this time. We had weeks and weeks of rain and no sun. Here is Samoan pink and Samoan black taro and carica cauliflower. Our shepherd special pomegranate performs very well here. The taste is divine. but it gets stung by the fruit fly and it has thorns, so it's difficult to net. Planted that loganberry a couple of months ago and it grows fairly fast. And the berries along the fence, I will probably exchange them for thornless varieties. I plant loads of banana, all different varieties, and plantain. I believe they improve the soil. I like to secure the edges with a pot. And there's tree tomato, which fruit very, very fast from seed. I hope that the umbrella survives first the waterlogging and then the winter. There's star fruit flowering, and there's an array of dragon fruit and some yacons which need harvesting. I use the bare soil for simple crops like lettuce, turnips or daikons. Here you see the bed at the water tank. It has rhubarb, holy basil and a passion fruit. This middle bed will need some thinning out. The cassava goes, the curry leaf goes in a pot, and probably more. And here's an avocado, and I find it so important to plant sustenance crop instead of only fruit. The fence to the neighbor was flooded and all the beans died. The soil is very permeable, so flooding doesn't stay for a long time. And there's some cool plants left, like garlic vine or Calanchoe pinnata. Here's the za'atar. And now we are going to the low-lying area where the water collects after the rain. I had to prune back everything along that back fence after it flooded. It will come back nicely. There are rare ginger, betel leaf, peanut butter tree and more. And I planted some lettuce under the banana. I'm even growing a weed here. This is water lettuce. It can't escape from my pond, and I simply flick some heads of these lettuce out as fertilizers. We are coming to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. We have food forest plants, and as soon as I get around, I'll report on our bigger garden.